family. A lot of you guys have been asking about how to record your drums and how to make student views and that kind of stuff. So that's what this tutorial is for. This is to show you drum recording 101. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your drums are in tune, as absolutely in tune as you can make them. Because if they don't sound right in the room live, they're never going to sound right on a recording. If you need to use muffling, use muffling. If you need to use duct tape, use duct tape. Use anything at your disposal to improve your drum sound quality. Here's an example of what my drums sound like with only camera mic. What I've learned from having a sound percussion kit is that tuning makes all the difference. I've got this thing sounding pretty good. So let's talk about microphones now. I have a Shure Beta 52 mic for the kick drum and 3 Shure SM57s for the snare drum and overheads. Let's go really quickly through some placement things now. If you are anything other than a drummer who plays at a lower level dynamic, then I would recommend you put a porthole in your kick drum. It's really easy to do. Just heat up a soup can on your stove or on a fire and just stick it through the head when it gets hot enough. In terms of actual placement, that is completely up to you. If you want a more prominent, clicky sound, put the mic towards the beater. If you want a rounder sound, pull it back from the beater. I usually have mine right around halfway. For the snare batter head, you want to come towards the head at an angle, around a 45-degree angle, and point towards the center of the head. Also, you want to be able to put 3 whole fingers between your batter head and your mic's capsule. For the snare reso head, I'm not too picky about where I place that mic, since it's only picking up snare buzz and no pitch or tone, so as long as you put it in that general vicinity, it's going to be fine. For the overhead placement, I have it from 4 to 6 feet away from the middle of my entire kit, and you want the overhead capsule to point directly at the snare as much as possible. I want to emphasize the fact that mic placement is totally subjective. It's like playing the drums. It's like art. The only thing that matters is how you want your finished product to sound. Just set up your mics however you think they sound best. And give your mic cables as much slack as you can. Don't wind them up and don't tighten them unless absolutely necessary. This will help them last a lot longer. Onto the interface, this is what your mics plug into so they can talk to your computer. Interfaces are usually going to plug into your computer via USB or FireWire. So once your computer recognizes the interface, open up your DAW and select it as an input. Then hit record and play your drums. You're going to have to fiddle around with the gain on your interface to get the mic levels where you need them. You'll have the right levels when the black waveform is not touching the edge of the track itself. Here's an example of what my drums sound like after I find the perfect levels for them, with no EQ or compression. On the topic of a mixer, it's understandable why you would want to have one, but it's really not necessary if you have a DAW because they have mixers built right in. I recommend you use those, it'll simplify your setup a lot. When it comes to EQing and compressing your drums, I'm going to leave that up to you guys since I don't know the intricacies of each DAW. Absolutely feel free to message me with any questions you have about EQing and compressing, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. For reference, this is what my drums sound like with EQ and with compression. After you've finished recording, you want to export all of your tracks to a single audio file and put it into your video editor. From there, all you need to do is line up the WAV file from your camera and the WAV file from your mic audio, then delete the audio from your camera and you should be set. All in all, I hope I've helped you guys with your drum recording needs. Don't hesitate to shoot me any questions if you have any, and I'm just glad I've been able to help.